Today we're going to watch a couple of news stories. That's right, I want to show you the fall of civilization. Now a lot of people say, why do you keep showing this? Well, I think it's important for other countries and other states, and there's even a story from Chicago in this. So the Bay Area is not alone. It seems like, I don't want to be prejudiced, but it seems like a lot of, let's just say a certain color of cities are going crazy. I'm calling it the fall of civilization. That's right, because this stuff didn't happen when I was a kid. Even with the internet and no internet, you didn't hear about this, and you didn't see the homeless, you didn't see the graffiti, and you didn't see the smash and grabs. This is a new thing, and it's only getting worse. They might tell you it's going down, but don't believe them. Don't believe your lying eyes, as they say. So watch these next couple videos and tell me what you think in the comments. I don't usually say that, but you got to have something to say about this, because it's just getting worse and worse and worse. But they tell you it's not as bad. So don't believe your lying eyes. Watch these next stories and tell me what you think about the fall of civilization. Well, as always, I want to thank you again for coming along with me on these fall of civilization adventures. You know the drill. Peace, love, and all that hippie jazz. I have compassion, but we need to have some tough love. Get it right or get it wrong. Let's watch these videos. Bye-bye, everybody.
The LA County Board of Supervisors has unanimously approved the development of year-round homeless shelters.
Coco McAvoy standing by for us in downtown LA with all the details. Hey there, Coco. Good morning.
Good morning. With this new proposal, there will be 8 round-the-clock shelters throughout LA County to provide housing and shelter for homeless residents. Take a look at this video while I explain what exactly this motion is about. The motion was put in place by Supervisors Catherine Barger and Lindsay Horvath, both stressing the importance of providing shelter and emergency care to unhoused individuals during this ongoing climate crisis to really protect people from the extreme weather in LA County. The emergency shelters are expected to provide core support, including 3 meals a day, showers, bathrooms, clothes, and other basic needs. The motion cites the LA Homeless Services Authority 2024 count that showed there are more than 75,000 people experiencing homelessness in the county, with 52,000 unsheltered and 22,000 sheltered. The county's CEO will create a report within the next month that will identify both funding and potential locations for these emergency shelters. I'll send it back to you.
I'll tell you, neighbors here are really upset. They say this house that you can see across the way there, it's a little foggy, but you can still make it out. That house on Sunset Plaza Drive has been abandoned for a long time now, and now it is just a huge eyesore. For the second time in a matter of days, taggers have taken over a vacant Hollywood Hills mansion.
This is one of the most iconic neighborhoods in the world. This is where movie stars come. This is where artists come. This is where, when you make it in whatever industry you are, you want to buy a house in the Hollywood Hills.
Real estate agent and neighbor Preston Gazowski just noticed the new graffiti on this multi-million-dollar Sunset Plaza Drive estate, which is about 5 miles away from another tagged mansion on Mulholland Drive.
Definitely nobody wants to live next to a squatting house. And even though the art looks pretty cool, I don't think anybody would really want to live next to it, see it. Not in this neighborhood, not in any neighborhood. I mean, and it shouldn't be happening here.
Both properties are owned by John Powers Middleton, whose father owns the Philadelphia Phillies baseball team. Neighbors of the Mulholland property say it has been a nuisance for years, but the Sunset Plaza Drive mansion was newly targeted. Take a look at this video from Sky Fox. On the right is what this house looked like on Friday, abandoned but untouched. On the left is what it looks like now, various styles of graffiti covering the walls and windows.
The biggest problem you're facing is values. Good people don't do bad things.
Neighbor Richard Franklin has lived on this street for more than 30 years and says he has finally had enough. He plans to move to Italy.
Is a sign of utter decline of a country, city by city by city. It's everywhere. We accept the unacceptable. And if you accept the unacceptable, mankind can get used to anything. We'll be used to this. Nobody's going to stop it. Nobody cares. If you think they care, you're wrong.
Now, city reps say they do care. They say they've been working with the LAPD and the Department of Building and Safety on this. And there is also a security guard who's at the property right now. We've seen him walking around that third floor, shining a flashlight at times. There's also a chain link fence now surrounding the property, but there's still no timeline on exactly what the next steps are or how long it's going to take. Reporting live from the Hollywood Hills, I'm Chelsea Edwards, Fox 11 News. Marla, Alex.
And residents are sounding off after a second abandoned home in the Hollywood Hills is hit by taggers. The latest home targeted on Sunset Plaza Drive. On the right is what the house looked like last Friday. On the left is what it looked like Monday with graffiti covering walls and windows. This comes just days after we told you about another vacant mansion on Mulholland Drive covered in graffiti. Both homes are owned by John Powers Middleton, whose father owns the Philadelphia Phillies. Locals say both properties have attracted squatters for years now, but the graffiti has recently escalated.
This is a sign of utter decline of a country, city by city by city. It's everywhere. We accept the unacceptable. And if you accept the unacceptable, mankind can get used to anything. We'll be used to this. Nobody's going to stop it. Nobody cares. If you think they care, you're wrong.
It's like deep and very.
It really is, honestly. It really is.
Existential.
You should be writing a book or being a professor or something.
City officials say that they've been working with the LAPD on extra patrols, but no word yet on any detailed plan to keep this from happening again.
Man.
7-Eleven stores overrun by mobs of young people stealing whatever they can get their hands on. This happened more than a dozen times, and police have a plan to stop it. Fox 11's Matthew Seedorf, he's live with details tonight. Matthew?
Well, Marla, workers and customers here say they're fed up. These robberies, though, they keep happening. Hordes of young people relentlessly robbing 7-Elevens across L.A. Look at this. Destroyed. At least 14 times in the last 2 months, crowds of people have overwhelmed stores. What happened? Robbery. Stealing food and cigarettes, chucking bananas at clerks, even busting windows and knocking down aisles.
If you think you're just part of a group that's stealing chips and you're just stealing something to drink, you need to understand it's bigger than that.
Los Angeles police now looking through surveillance video and clips posted to social media, releasing new images of suspects to help with their investigation.
Either family members, friends, public, they're going to know who they are. And they should not be engaging in this activity.
This location right across the street from Beverly Hills has been hit twice by thieves in recent weeks. Now they have visible security and these new mobile trailers.
Thank you for shopping 7-Eleven. For your safety, the parking lot is being video recorded.
It's a pretty sad thing, you know, business owners get hurt and there's really not much any cops could do.
You have to see it to believe it.
Last week, Rite Aid started locking up almost every item for sale at some stores in LA, also trying to prevent retail theft. Why do you think it's happening?
I would say that it's boredom, but I don't think that. I think that it's an understanding that there's a lot of lack of consequences.
Police now increasing patrol around LA's 7-Elevens, hoping to catch the next flash mob robbers.
We don't want to obviously instill fear in juveniles and youth, but we want them to understand there are consequences.
So police say they're doing what they can, but interestingly enough, 13 of these 14 robberies across the LA area took place on Friday evenings. Reporting live tonight, Matthew Seedorf, Fox 11 News.
What are we looking at?
Just another break-in at a dispensary. This is the fourth one we've had in actually the last 3 months.
How many times in the last one?
4.
4 times in the last 3 months.
Yeah. In this neighborhood.
You or just in the neighborhood?
Here.
4. Tell me again.
4 times.
Here.
4 times at our location we've had break-ins. This is by far the worst. But we're gonna get it repaired. We're gonna get it cleaned up. We'll be back in business. Can't keep us down.
Why do you think this one was the worst?
Well, just because of the damage.
They were pretty aggressive.
Yeah, they used a vehicle to plow through our front entrance.
Can you give me a tour?
I don't think that's It's very dangerous right now. There's a lot of broken glass. Yeah, Bruce.
Take a second.
Okay, quick second. All right. Please be careful.
Of course.
They took our gate off. We have a roll down that was behind it on top of that, which is now there. Try to put on some tranquil music to keep the mood better.
Why do you think they're targeting you?
I think because of our industry. We're a cannabis industry. I believe we are not the only ones who are actually affected this evening. I think I heard already another store was also hit the same night. It seems to be an ongoing threat to our industry is the attractiveness of cannabis and the gain of money, I guess.
Why is your industry in particular being targeted, do you think?
I think there's a big stigma that people think cannabis means dollar signs for everyone else, but we're just a specialty retailer that we're trying to make it like everyone else. We're a small business, we're not corporately backed, so we're doing our best to keep our doors open and upright.
Do you know what other location was hit?
I do not.
What have you done an inventory yet?
No. Right now I'm waiting for more assessment. We haven't even opened yet. Filing police reports, insurance, all that.
So have the police even responded?
They have. They've actually been here twice already.
What does something like this do to small business, independently owned?
Well, it hurts us. We're already struggling in this industry as it is, and now we're gonna have a setback of repairs, and it could affect even our customer base because we support a lot of the local neighborhood, and we don't want them to feel unsafe because we're here. We want to make sure that everyone can appreciate us just like we appreciate them, and
4 times you've been hit.
That's correct.
What's it been like what have you heard from the community, your customers that come in here?
Surprisingly, it's been actually a lot of great support for the people that I speak to because they come in here, so when I talk to them, they're happy we're here. They want us to make it. They understand some of the struggles we're going through, and so I can really appreciate our neighbors feeling some of the sting we're feeling.
Anything else you'd like to add?
Don't count us out. Cannabis Cultures here on 2715 Judas Street will be back open soon, if not later today, definitely this week.
It has been a violent weekend in Antioch with 3 shootings happening just since Friday. The latest was this morning in a strip mall parking lot. Several people were injured. KRON4's Sarah Stimson has the story.
The latest shooting in Antioch happened Sunday morning right here in this Rite Aid parking lot, and as a lot of the businesses in the strip mall were opening up.
I heard a gunshot. I didn't think of a gunshot, but it was just a sound like that's like 6 shots.
Tony Loynab was getting ready to open his Antioch Bar and Grill for Football Sunday when he heard gunshots coming from the parking lot. This happened around 9:20 in the morning near the Rite Aid on A Street and East 18th Street.
And I looked at like 6 police officers, ambulance, and fire trucks. And then we walked over there, and apparently a lady got shot and a young gentleman.
Police have not released any information about who was shot, only saying multiple people got injured. Police say the investigation is ongoing. Loynab has owned various businesses in this city since 1998. He says in the last 5 years, shootings have become all too common.
I mean, this is Antioch. Welcome to Antioch. Now Antioch is old Oakland, but how many people got shot? 3 or 4 in 1 week. Not in 1 year, not in 1 month. 1 week.
There was another shooting about a mile away Saturday night on Sycamore Drive in L Street. Police say no one got hurt, but buildings were struck by bullets. This happened right near a strip mall called Sycamore Square. Most people we've talked to who live and work in Antioch say, which shooting are you talking about? It happens so often. At this shopping center, you can see multiple gunshot holes, one here, and it just continues on.
The city doesn't do anything, police department doesn't do anything, the mayor doesn't do anything, the city council doesn't do anything, the city manager doesn't do anything.
And Friday, police were on the scene of another shooting that killed a man. It happened on Cavallo Road and Sunset Drive around 12:30 in the afternoon. Investigators released a photo of this GMC Sierra pickup truck, saying it may be the suspected shooters. Anyone with information is asked to call police. Meanwhile, Loynab says all this violence has an immediate effect on small businesses like his.
We look at this Sunday football, Raiders playing, Niners playing. I have 6 customers in the bar. This bar should be packed. I mean, people are afraid, honestly, and if we put our hard-earned money, we don't get no appreciation or no help whatsoever.
We reached out to the mayor of Antioch as well as a mayoral candidate. We did not hear back in time for this report. I'm Sarah Stinson reporting, KRON 4 News.
And taking matters into their own hands, today in East Oakland, residents and volunteers met up along a busy corridor plagued by blight and illegal dumping. KRON 4's Philippe Jagal spoke with neighbors who hope the day of action helps keep the streets clean.
Stephanie Allen has called East Oakland home for more than 40 years. She lives a few blocks away from MacArthur Boulevard and Myers Street, where illegal dumping and a nearby encampment are tarnishing her community.
I do a lot of complaining, but I want to be part of the solution too.
That is why she joined up with other neighbors and volunteers Friday morning, picking up trash along the corridor that is struggling to keep families and businesses in the area.
Everybody should be able to come out in their own community and to help to come out to pick up trash and to get along with each other. And if they can do that, then we can all get along. This is a corridor that has been waiting for us.
The gathering marking Council Member Treva Reed's 3rd Community Safety Task Force Day of Action and community cleanup event in the neighborhood since June.
We're seeing, we're responding, and we're delivering and meeting our community where they are with the resources and the services and the support that they deserve.
And while volunteers, city crews, and community ambassadors clean up, grassroots groups set up tables to encourage residents to vote and offer other services, which Stephanie Allen hopes people take advantage of.
I want it to be a place where people want to come and buy homes and raise their families.
Reed says one more day of action is being scheduled for next month. In Oakland, Philippe Jagal, KRON 4 News.
Oakland, where a heartbroken family is mourning the death of a man who is working to provide a brighter future for himself and the community he called home. Good evening. I'm Ryan Yamamoto.
And I'm Elizabeth Cook. This all comes at a time when the city is seeing a sharp decline in murders. But as Da Lin reports, that's little consolation to the family of Billy Williams and all those who lost loved ones to violence.
Neighbors created this makeshift memorial on Wilson Street. The victim collapsed and died at that back fence there next to this apartment building after he was shot.
Yes, my name is Billy Williams. And
his family identified 47-year-old Billy Williams as the man killed on Thursday in the Diamond District. He had started working for Ken Houston and the Beautification Council roughly 2 months ago.
He was responsible, he was on time, and he just said he just needed a chance that he couldn't get anywhere else. People would turn him down because of his record.
Ken says Billy wanted to turn his life around after spending about 10 years in jail. So he hired him over the summer to clean up homeless encampments and the streets.
I was down and out, down on my luck. I didn't have no funds, no job, no employment, and I was in the streets hustling. And I encountered him, and, he put me in a position to where I am now. Got a job, nice clothes.
It's hard to meet someone and know that they show up and then he was murdered like an animal down the street.
Police say the shooting happened just after 5 p.m. on Thursday. They say someone fired multiple rounds, hitting a car and killing Billy. Police say Billy was with or near a group of people when the shooting happened. It's unclear if he was the intended target. Investigators are still looking for a motive, and no one has been arrested. Neighbors tell me they heard about 6 to 8 shots.
When they hear the gunshots, they're not running no more because we just hear it so many times, the gunshots and stuff. People are tired. People are tired of.
Police say homicides are down, comparing this year to the same period last year. 69 homicides this year, compared to 96 last year. Police credit the crime prevention program, Operation Ceasefire, as one of the reasons for the decline.
Person-to-person communication from both members of the police department as well as members of our Department of Violence Prevention and our community-based organizations that we work with throughout the city that are giving the message to those that would likely be involved in violent crime, either as a victim or a suspect, asking them to put the guns down and offering services. And I think that we're seeing a huge return just in this short time that we've reinstated the program.
Ken supports Operation Ceasefire, but wants even more job opportunities for those at risk, like Billy. He says Billy lost his son to gun violence in Oakland last year, and his 19-year-old daughter is now fighting cancer.
This is a person I hugged. This is a person that I touched. I cried with him about his daughter. I cried with him about his son. Now this man was murdered down the street like an animal. And the individuals that did it don't know what they're doing.
I reached out to the family. The victim's wife says she's dealing with a lot of pain, a lot of trauma, and a lot of sadness. She says she's not ready to speak to the media at this time.
There's been yet another break-in at a marijuana dispensary, and this time in San Francisco's Sunset District.
And the intruders smashed their way in with an SUV. New at 6:30, our crime reporter Henry Lee live at SFPD headquarters with details. Henry?
Yeah, this is yet another case of burglars using a car to smash their way into a business. Not much product was taken in this case, but the burglars left a lot of damage behind.
Just almost like a hurricane went through our store. Shock right out the gate. It was kind of heartbreaking to watch.
Surveillance video shows burglars using a Jeep to break into Cannabis Culture's dispensary in San Francisco's outer Sunset. First, this man attaches a chain to the SUV, which pulls the front security gate completely off just before 5 Tuesday morning. Witnesses took these videos and called police.
Yeah, they just backed their car up into the store, shattered the building, the fence, and they're stealing all the... It's like a weed dispensary.
Ripped it off so easily, you would have thought it was made of plastic instead of steel.
Alex Morehouse is manager of the shop. He says the intruders then used the Jeep as a battering ram, twice backing into the shop near 32nd and Judah. The intruders, all wearing hoodies, ran inside the shop with trash bags looking for things to steal. At one point, they used a sledgehammer to smash holes through this door. They made a mess of the place but didn't steal much. But the burglary caused up to $25,000 in damage.
I came in and I just saw destruction, and I had to just walk over debris, not try to cut myself on the shattered glass.
The break-in happened just minutes after this San Francisco police car cruised by.
For all I know, these people were waiting for them to drive by so they could, jump on the opportunity.
Those living in the Sunset are concerned.
I think it's just sad for the neighborhood. I mean, we expect all the car break-ins and this kind of stuff to happen, on the other side, Civic Center downtown. But now it's all coming out here.
This used to be a safety neighborhood, I feel. Yeah, but when you tell me this, I don't feel safe anymore. Yeah.
Morehouse says his shop has been targeted 3 times before by burglars, but never with a vehicle. He had this message for the intruders.
I hope you learned you're not going to get anything from us. We're not going away. We're learning from every mistake and every attempt.
Now, anyone who recognizes that Jeep or the intruders has asked to contact SFPD. Greg?
All right, Henry Lee live in San Francisco for us. Henry, thank you.
Yeah, it's a short viral clip that started circulating just in the last couple of days. And now we're learning that video that happened in the city's Mission District was not an isolated incident. A viral video is now circulating through social media. In it, you can see a group of vandals apparently blocking the path of a Waymo. First, one person approaches and begins scrawling graffiti on the hood. Moments later, another joins him, and 2 others begin tagging the windows. The whole time, a passenger can be seen inside the vehicle holding a dog. Billy Riggs, an autonomous vehicle expert, says in all likelihood the incident was captured not just by whoever shot the video, but by onboard cameras as well.
All of it is recorded by a vehicle. The automated vehicle companies have agreed in many situations to work with law enforcement when their vehicles are targeted, but also when when we have other things happening on the road, handing over some of that.
San Francisco police are now providing more details, saying an autonomous vehicle company filed a police report saying this was just one of 3 incidents that took place over an hour-and-a-half stretch early Saturday evening involving at least 2 taggers and someone shooting the video. This isn't the first time people have targeted self-driving vehicles. In July of last year, a group calling itself Safe Street Rebels put cones on cruise vehicles to stop them in place. This latest incident has people who've used autonomous services worried about passenger safety.
You know, obviously safety concerns are going to come up from that side of things. So it's just like, well, if it's, starting with tagging, what's going to be next?
Riggs says passenger safety is a priority for the autonomous vehicle companies. The first line of defense in this case, he says, making sure those doors stayed closed.
Conceivably they wouldn't have been able to access the people in those vehicles. So I do think that those occupants didn't have anything to worry about. And we have to remember also that there's always a customer service representative available if you're riding in one of these vehicles.
Ultimately, passengers say it's a disappointment now that the new technology has been targeted by vandals.
I don't understand people who do that. Everyone has their way of being a rebel, but this is, I don't understand. It's progress. These cars are, they can give us something that will move us forward.
Industry watchers say as autonomous vehicles proliferate, more incidents like this will likely follow.
Around the world, we see this kind of behavior where there's convenient targets. You do get some type of, it's an opportunity to leave your mark.
Now, we have reached out to Waymo looking for more details about the incident and about the customer who was inside the vehicle at the time. So far, we've not heard back. We're live in San Francisco. Christian Cafton, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
Vandals struck in downtown Redwood City, damaging a community piano that had been unveiled just 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that piano was part of a new campaign focusing on the sights and sounds and all the tastes of Redwood City.
So the association that paid for the project and the artist who designed it, understandably upset.
And our Ann Rubin joins us live near City Hall, where the piano used to be displayed. Ann?
Yeah, crews just brought the piano inside where it's awaiting repairs. They're hoping to get it fixed up and back on display as quickly as possible. For a few short days, this showstopper of a piano launched many mini concerts in downtown Redwood City.
This idea was beautiful, right? It's not only a piece of art, it's something like you can touch, you can play with it.
Local artist Fernando Escartiz spent hours crafting the piece, which was inspired by Mexican folk art and musical animals. The Redwood City Improvement Association hoped it would bring a bit of joy to residents, and it seemed to be working, that is, until vandals struck.
I guess that was the thing. The sadness became, oh shoot, it wasn't an anger. It was just, oh, it's only been 2 weeks.
Only 2 weeks of enjoyment, and now this. The vandals broke off a lid and damaged a key. Fortunately, not major damage, but still a major disappointment. Today, crews wheeled the piano into City Hall for safekeeping.
Last half full, we brought it in. It's getting, fingers and toes crossed. I think it's repairable, and we'll bring it right back out because that's what you have to do.
The artist says he's hopeful the piano will return to its spot on Jazz Plaza soon.
I hope that the pianos can be back again, and also invite the community to protect the piano, because like I say, it's not our piano anymore. The piano is for all the community.
If all goes well, the music will resume soon enough, and another piano designed by another artist will join this one downtown. People in Redwood City say it's important everyone works together to keep them safe.
I believe in that. I believe in protecting things that you own, It's sad that people do that. It really is. I wouldn't let that stop me, though.
The Redwood City Improvement Association says they won't be deterred. A second piano is supposed to be unveiled in the next couple of weeks, and they're hopeful that they might have even more pianos in the future. Heather, Frank?
It really is such a shame, though. Can't understand why anyone would want to do that. All right, Ann Rubin, live for us there in Redwood City. Thank you.
Our top story tonight, the city of Oakland is pushing back on homeless encampments, trying to get rid of them. Mayor Sheng Thao signed an executive order today requiring the removal of tents from anywhere that infringes on critical infrastructure, things like sidewalks and parks.
Our chronicler's Rob Nesbitt spoke with the mayor along Martin Luther King Jr. Way, where a homeless encampment was removed.
This sidewalk along Martin Luther King Jr. Way in Oakland looks very different than it did last week. Last week, there were tents all along the street. You can actually see they're still cleaning up some debris behind me. 40 tons of debris was cleared from the homeless encampment that existed in Oakland since 2006. It went from this to this in a matter of days because of an executive order signed by Mayor Sheng Thao requiring the removal of homeless encampments that infringe on critical and essential infrastructure.
You cannot remain on sidewalks. You cannot remain in parks or near rec centers or near senior centers. You cannot be inside of a park.
Mayor Thao has directed all city departments to enforce the encampment management policy approved by the City Council in 2020. Federal laws made that difficult until the U.S. Supreme Court ruled in June to allow cities the ability to clear homeless encampments. Assistant City Administrator in Oakland, Harold Duffy, says shelter is always offered before an unhoused person is forced to move.
This is an opportunity for people to get a pathway to permanent housing. Living on the street isn't living, it's just surviving.
16 unhoused people were transitioned into shelters from MLK Jr. Way. And Mayor Thao says the homeless encampment on Wood Street has been completely cleared, with plans for 169 affordable housing units to take its place.
I was homeless before. I lived in the car with my son, and not once was I looking for a place to pitch a tent. I was looking for affordable housing, and that's what we need to offer is affordable housing.
The city has secured around $200 million to create more affordable housing over the next 2 years. There are around 3,500 unhoused people in the city of Oakland. St. Vincent de Paul is one organization that provides shelter, and Director of Programs Marcel Lloyd says it's a more dignified option than a homeless encampment.
You're living in tents and there's filth, unhygienic, rats and other things that we want to provide those that are unsheltered with a place where they can lay their head, know that there's not going to be any violence committed against them.
The city scheduled 10 days to clear the MLK Jr. Way homeless encampment, but the sweep took 4 days to complete. In Oakland, Rob Nesbitt, KRON 4 News.
Yeah, Ravi, Cheryl, there are many factors that are making it hard for the downtown shopping districts to fill empty spaces. But could crime be one of the hurdles? After our past reports, we heard from viewers asking if crime was keeping businesses away. So the I-Team dug into the data and spoke to experts close to the issue. Smash and grabs, thieves breaking and driving through store windows, plus retail theft. The crimes have businesses like Chicago Sports on the Mag Mile on guard, but they're resilient.
We don't consider leaving. We've been open since the 80s. But I do think currently it has been a big factor, especially since the pandemic, all the rioting, the looting.
But could persistent crime be keeping businesses from filling a high number of empty storefronts? The Loop has a current vacancy rate of 30%, and the Mag Mile has a vacancy rate of 26%.
Crime is a factor, and businesses are reluctant to give you a ranking. Is it the number 1 factor or the number 10 factor?
Second Ward Alderperson Brian Hopkins is the chairperson of the Committee on Public Safety.
I have had a couple of businesses tell me one more time and I'm closing.
Hopkins has been leading the charge to install 40 more bollards or vertical posts to protect businesses from cars being used for smash and grabs on the Mag Mile.
The new effort is to strategically place them in locations that have been hit repeatedly.
Retailers are also fighting smash and grabs in an innovative way.
You're going to show us how fast the room fills up. Here we go.
Fog machines that don't damage products can discourage thieves by making products almost impossible to see. The company which makes the fog machines, Density USA, says the thick fog hovers for a while even after the windows are broken.
This fog has filled the room. I can't see any products.
The whole idea is to force the person out.
Nonstop Locksmith in the West Loop says it's installing these machines in local businesses along with arming them with alarms and glass protecting film.
We're actually getting a lot of phone calls lately
lately dozens of phone calls about finding solutions.
Chicago police crime numbers analyzed by the I-Team show forcible entry burglaries, which include smash and grabs, are skyrocketing overall, but only up slightly in downtown shopping areas. When you compare the average of the 3 years before the pandemic to the last 12 months, there were 31 more forcible entry burglaries in the Near North neighborhood, which includes the Mag Mile area, and 8 more incidents in the Loop.
With repeated attacks like this of smash and grabs, that gets to the tipping point where suddenly it isn't worth it to them.
Retail thefts are up overall in the last year, but when you compare the average of 3 years before the pandemic to the last 12 months, the numbers are down in the 2 shopping districts. In the Near North neighborhood, which includes the Mag Mile area, retail theft is down 1%. It's down 3% in the Loop.
I think there is that residue of that time of the social unrest where Wait Chicago has kind of maybe lost its way a little bit. It's not accurate anymore.
John Vance, the principal at Stone Real Estate, tracks vacancy rates in the Loop and the Mag Mile. He says most of the businesses which left during COVID were mainly driven out by online shopping and lower revenue in large spaces. He says many businesses looking to move in now are trying to overcome similar issues, but may also think about crime rates.
I think it's under consideration, because they're hearing some things, but I don't think it's the main consideration.
Okay, and activity is rebounding on the Mag Mile with new stores moving in. The Loop Alliance says foot traffic is skyrocketing, in some cases hitting pre-pandemic levels. Ravi Sherrill, we also reached out to the Mag Mile Association, which says it's been beefing up security with its community policing program, and I gotta say, we're seeing all those people walking the streets on the Mag Mile ready to shop.